Hey, bang!
Hi, Richie.
Hi, Sin.
Hi, everyone. Richie, what are we doing here today on this wonderful Wednesday?
Well, you decided that we should record episode 2 of... What's this called again? What? Where? Why? I wasn't sure if there was a when in there. But there isn't.
Oh. Are you saying the one is missing?
What would the when even mean? Because the answer would always be, like, in Bloodborne.
In Bloodborne, it's not a date.
Some things change after the red moon, but that's about it.
Maybe that's why I didn't include it. I was thinking ahead and I'm a genius. When would just be redundant. Okay, thank you, Richie. And today we're going to talk about the Scourge Beast.
Yep.
A little enthusiasm, please?
Well, I know you picked Scourge Beast because last time we were doing this, I said, oh god, imagine when we get to Scourge Beast. And then you were like, oh, well.
Not everything is about you and me making you miserable. I looked through the Wikipedia, Bloodborne-wiki, and I looked at the enemy list, and I decided which ones are more interesting to talk about, and I classified them, and I wrote down 17 of the most interesting ones.
Chosen by a panel of experts.
Yes, exactly. So after we do the 17 episodes, we'll decide if we want to do the rest.
Alright.
The other 10 or how many ever left.
Alright.
You see, the process is a lot more complex than you give it credit for. Alright, Richie. So now let's go to the Bloodborne-wiki where we find the Scourge Beast.
Yep.
And answer the question. What is the Scourge Beast?
Well, did you just get attacked by a Scourge Beast?
No, Corvo just scared me. He said there's this, because we did a little moving around in the basement, so everything makes more sense and there's more space. And there's a little table thing or whatever to my side, to my left. And Corvo was just sitting there, and I saw him from the corner of my eyes, and he scared me. He was just staring at me. Jesus, Corvo, sorry. Yes. So, to get back on topic, what is the Scourge Beast?
The Scourge Beast is a werewolf. Thank you. The Scourge Beast is a person who has turned into a wolf thing. It is bigger than a person. It is on all fours. Its anatomy is kind of like a bit more humanoid than you would think. It has much longer limbs than a wolf does. Its limbs are shaped a bit more like a human because it used to be one. They are a pretty strong enemy early in the game. You tend to encounter maybe one or two at a time, unlike the beast patients and the Yharnamites, where there's lots of them in groups. And it's actually the first enemy that you encounter in the game. It's the first thing you see when you go down the stairs.
Interesting.
Yes,
Thank you.
There's a bunch of little Scourge Beast variants you can find.
So, how do you know it used to be a human?
It's got clothes on.
But couldn't it just be like a wolf who's really fashionable?
This is possible, yes.
Thank you.
Look, who can say? It's more of Miyazaki's adversarial 5-dimensional chess that he's playing with us.
Thank you. So where
everyone knows this one.
Where is the Scourge Beast?
Oh, all of them? Alright, motherfucker, let's do this. Okay. Scourge Beast is in cutscene. When you first start the game, there is one made of blood. It comes out of the ground. That one doesn't count as an enemy because it's like entirely in a cutscene. It's like a static object that's animated for that cutscene. Doesn't have any stats. You go out the door. Boom. Scourge Beast. It's a Scourge Beast that it's like the standard one, but they reduce its hit points to pretty low.
Mm-hmm.
The implication being that it like got in a fight with the people it was killing, so it's wounded.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, there is a removed Scourge Beast for that area that has like really, really limited stats. So initially, you were going to fight like a Scourge Beast that was like all around weaker, not just a regular one with limited hit points. Okay, you leave Yosefka's clinic. You go through Central Yharnam. You're walking to the bridge. What's this? There's a Scourge Beast, and it's been crucified and it's on fire. And you think, cripes. So you go past it. No. You wanted all of them. You wanted all of them. You go go onto the Great Bridge. Fuck me, it's 2 Scourge Beasts. Most people run past them. If you run down into the aqueduct, they can sometimes follow you.
Uh-huh.
Yep. You go through the aqueduct up to where Gascoigne is.
Mm-hmm.
You go through there into Erden Chapel. Then you might think I'm going to go to Old Yharnam. You go to Old Yharnam. On the way to Old Yharnam, this room looks a bit dark. Wait a minute. It's the Scourge Beast again.
Uh-huh. Richie, it's okay. Yeah. We get the idea. Thank you, Richie.
You go to Old Yharnam. I'm in Old Yharnam. Just wandering around, minding my own business. I'm going down into the lower part of Old Yharnam. I didn't believe it. 2 more Scourge Beasts. I round the corner, go down the bridge, is another one. And then unique Scourge Beast. Wait a second, they can stick to walls too. That's right. There's one on the side of a wall, and if you shoot it with your firearm or you collect a beast blood pellet, it falls down. So I'm running away from that Scourge Beast. I'm a bit frightened. Go down wait a minute. Round the corner was another Scourge Beast. This one also unique, because when that ashen blood beast patient makes the screaming noise, it gets a buff that gives it, it gets red eyes, it can do slow poison, and it gets a hit point buff.
Mm-hmm.
I know, this is incredibly versatile canine. So then you're done with that. You go up. You go. I think. I'll go to the Grand Cathedral. No Scourge Beasts. No Scourge Beasts in the Grand Cathedral. There's no Scourge Beasts in Forbidden Woods. No Scourge Beasts in Bergenworth. Rom, what's going on? I'm in Yahagul now, and not necessarily Scourge Beasts there, but there are things that use the Scourge Beast moveset, and they're just made out of body parts. And I think, as far as the game's concerned, they still count as like a beast and stuff, but they're not really a Scourge Beast. They're just a pile of body parts that happens to look like one. You're done with, I've got Upper Cathedral Ward key. I wonder what this opens. I'm in Upper Cathedral Ward. You're going through there. What's on the side? It's another Scourge Beast on the side of the building. What's going on? And these ones, well, they've only got blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Richie.
No, but what if?
Oh.
What if you want to go into the Chalice dungeons? Wandering around Ailing Lauren. Wait a minute, they're in Ailing Lauren too? Yeah. And also East, but not Sumeru or Hintertombs?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Richie.
Yeah.
You're very knowledgeable about Bloodborne. Have you tried getting a life? I mean, if you put as much effort into life as you do in Bloodborne.
This podcast was your idea. And what I'm doing is I'm fulfilling everything you wanted me to do, and I'm going above and beyond that in the hopes that you realize what a terrible idea this is, and you stop doing it.
Thank you, Richie.
Central Yharnam Scourge Beast, 520 hit points. Old Yharnam Scourge Beasts, interestingly, they're a bit weaker, 364, but then they do get the hit point buff from the Ashen Beast. Head to Yahar'gul, the Skeleton Scourge Beast, a little tougher at 1800. Upper Cathedral Ward, oh, blue eyes, wait a minute, I'm about 3 times as strong as a regular Scourge Beast on 1451 hit points.
Thank you, Richie. So, you mentioned something interesting, which is
No, I didn't.
Some Scourge Beasts are crucified
Yeah,
and, like, on fire.
yeah.
So, why are some of the Scourge Beasts crucified and are on fire?
Because they're hunting beasts, and it's like, yeah, that'll teach them.
Is it like a warning to others?
But we've talked about this before, where, like, the burning of beasts, including just, like, regular animals, like, the smell of burning flesh seems to keep beasts away. So they burn them in Yharnam, but then, like, there's burning rabbits and horses and things in the woods, I think, because the idea is that the smell of burning flesh, like, wafts toward the beasts, and they think we need to keep away from you. It's like an instinctive fear.
Yeah, but the people who are hunting the beasts when you start Bloodborne are like half beasts themselves. So,
which ones?
Well, like there's a mob or whatever.
Yeah.
Some of them look like they're turning into beasts.
Yeah, they are.
So, like, isn't there, a little bit of a fear, like, oh my god, I'm turning into beast. I'm going to be crucified next.
Yeah, I think that's the idea.
But then why are they doing this? Shouldn't they just stay home and hope nobody sees them and knows that they're turning into a beast?
They probably, if they're turning into a beast, they probably, like, want, like, to eat people and blood and things. So they'd want to go out and hunt.
Yeah, but they're hunting beasts, not people.
Yeah.
It seems like it's not very well thought out.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
And when you think something's not well thought out, it's really fucked up.
Shade. You also mentioned that the beast patients or whatever give them a buff sometimes.
There's 2 places where this happens in the whole game. Although I think it may happen in Chalice's as well. But the the beasts in Old Yharnam that have the shawls on.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I mean is I'd like you to elaborate how it happens, why, what's going on there.
It's like this. They do that.
Okay.
The larger beast patients with the shawls, there's only 2 of them. They make a sort of noise and they scream and they, like, hold their hands up. And that buffs all the surrounding beasts. And it buffs the place you always see it is in that cathedral with the burning Scourge Beast. Because they do it as soon as they see you. But the other place it happens is in the little pathway you're taking to the Church of the Good Chalice. But there it's like, you might not realize it's doing that. You might think that the Scourge Beast there just innately has red eyes and poison, but it doesn't. It's actually getting that from the beast around the corner. So if you kill that beast and then, like, leave it for a while, it'll actually wear off. And it can also affect, like, if you leave the other Scourge Beast there, then they'll get buffed by the same, like, aura thing.
What is the lore explanation behind that?
Because it's the, like, I assume that those beasts were clerics. And they're, like, leading the congregation and they're doing the whole, like, the blood thing. Like, because they're obsessed. It's like obsession with blood and, like, what blood is doing. So they're sort of, like, gesturing, like, bring forth more blood, and it, like, activates the blood of everyone around them. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But, like, it's the fucked up, like, dried dead blood, so it goes poisonous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, the very first Scourge Beast we encounter is actually in our vision after we meet the messengers.
Yeah.
Could you explain what's happening there?
we have a weird dream sequence where a Scourge Beast comes out of the ground and it's made of blood, and it reaches out to us, and then as it's about to touch us, it catches fire and burns up, and then little messengers pop out like they sort of protected you from it. So it looks like it's just like a very obvious metaphor for like this disease is trying to claim you, and then you're able to stop it with the messengers.
Oh, sorry. So the messengers pop up after you meet the beast?
No, it bursts into flames, and you don't see
Yeah.
why, and then the camera moves down and you see that it was the messengers.
But you don't see that it was the messengers. It's just the beast sets on fire, and then you see messengers.
Yeah, but
Right?
I mean, in terms of like cause and effect, I think it's pretty clear that that's what happened.
So then how do the messengers affect Scourge Beasts?
No, but it's not literally happening. It's just like a dream.
I realized that right after I asked the question. I'm like, oh, damn. It's not actually happening. Yeah.
Well, you can edit it out. That's the genius of post-production.
No. So it's a metaphor. Or whatever. It's a dream.
Yeah.
And it means like beasthood is trying to take over you, but the messengers prevent that because the moon presence chose you? Or?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just that.
Could it be that you have some sort of a beast immunity, and that's why beasthood is like, oh no, I can't take over this person. They have antibodies, and then moon
I
presence.
think you
chooses
got it from the messengers, though.
Oh, okay.
You have a psych degree. Surely you're familiar with like how to interpret dreams. Like this is.
I don't know if I think the way I'd interpret it is you get into town, right? And then like everything's on fire, there are beasts, there are hunters, so much shit going on. You'd have like night terrors every night. Like there's,
Yeah.
you'd have nightmares every single night. So that's what I'd be like, listen, you having nightmares every night considering where you live is pretty fine as far as I'm concerned.
When are we getting the spin-off series Dr. Sinclair Professional Therapist?
Yeah. Well, SHT is kind of that. We give people life advice. Okay, thank you, Richie. And the last question is, why is the Scourge Beast?
I don't know. What do you mean? I don't understand what the why thing means.
Basically,
This is an existential question about this. Why is it?
Yes. Why is it?
Because if you take in just old blood, oh no, we turn into a werewolf. Okay, do you want to go over all of them?
No.
Do you want to, I think it's too late for you. The further you push me, the more I push back. All right. The one in the clinic, that is someone that Yosefka was treating who turned into a Scourge Beast. That's why it's in a room where all the doors are closed, all right?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. The ones on the bridge we don't know about. They're just Yharnamites who turned.
Mm-hmm.
The ones in Yahagul are probably not really Scourge Beasts. They're just piles of like body parts. The ones in Old Yharnam are there because the people of Old Yharnam all turned into beasts. There's actually one, and it's like overlooking a body with all these beast blood pellets on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's there to make you realize, oh yeah, people took beast blood, and that's why they turned into these things.
Ah.
And the ones in Yahagul, the ones in Upper Cathedral Ward are the choir members who turned. That's why they have blue eyes, because they're full of like cosmic stuff. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. And I guess that's it. Richie, do the outro.
What, where, when, why, how of Bloodborne.
Uh-huh.
Patreon.com/Sinclair Law.
Thank you, Richie.